Hello there, John MacArthur, what's up? So what about this conference and book of yours called Strange Fire, where you say that the charismatic movement is a crazy, heretic, demonic mess? And as I've gone through what you've been saying at the conference, I realized that the event really lives up to its name. So here are the top 7 Strange Fire statements. Number 1, most charismatics aren't Christian. You know, charismatics may love Jesus and believe that he is the Lord and Savior and all that, but they clearly aren't Christian because they act weird and they do not agree with John MacArthur. Of course, I guess Paul said in Romans 10:9 that if you believe that Jesus is your Lord and that he rose from the dead, you will be saved. But that definition of salvation clearly ceased with the apostles. Number 2, nothing good comes out of charismatic theology. You say that if something good have happened in the charismatic movement, it's not because of charismatic theology, it is in spite of it. In other words, if they had been cessationists, MacArthurists, they would have done it anyway. For example, take this healing that I witnessed at a charismatic conference earlier this summer.
My name is Tobias, I'm from Gothenburg. I think 3 or 4 years ago, through a saw, I lost my finger. And they tried to put it back, but I have limited mobility. I could do like this with my this finger now, but now I can do completely.
Obviously that would have happened in a church that don't pray for the sick and believe in healing as well. Number 3, the early church fathers were cessationists. I mean, all church fathers except John Chrysostom did believe in miracles and even gave examples of miracles that they've experienced, but you know, they clearly were cessationists. And I'm especially glad that you, John, and your friends at the Strange Fire conference emphasizes Augustine was this great cessationist theologian. He writes in the City of God, book 22, chapters 8 to 10, that miracles did not cease with the apostles, and he gives several examples of people that have been healed and even raised from the dead in his lifetime. Clearly cessationist. Number 4, the Jesus movement was crazy. You say that the people that belong to this charismatic renewal were drug-induced young people that wanted to throw out hymns and suits from the church. You cannot have church without hymns and suits. Number 5, hymns rock, rock sucks. The main thesis of Strange Fire really is about worship, and I think, John, that you clearly show that charismatic worship is out of its mind. To sing like this, our God is greater, our God is stronger, clearly is mindless hysteria. While this, how great thou art, clearly is deep theology, no exceptions. Number 6, charismatics have a kundalini spirit. This, I think, is self-evident. Not because there are any evidence at all of any charismatic leader with connection to this Hindu cult in India. And nor is it because the teaching of these charismatic leaders by any means resembles the teaching of the Kundalini sect in India. But I know it's the same spirit because I watched YouTube videos where people in the Kundalini sect behave weird, just like charismatics behave weird. And of course the Bible never says that we should look at weird manifestations when discerning the spirits, but it says that we should look at if they confess Jesus and if they have good fruits, that is the fruits of the Spirit. But I guess that definition of discernment ceased with the apostles. Finally, you say that the Spirit should make us look like Jesus. And this is actually a point where I can genuinely and honestly say that I agree with you, John. Still, it's a strange statement because it sort of contradicts everything else you say. I mean, John, you may think that cessationism is great, but you cannot claim to do the stuff that Jesus did. And you may criticize us for not doing it enough, but at least we're trying. Look, Jesus commanded the apostles to do this stuff, and then in Matthew 28 verse 20, he says that they should make disciples of all nations and teach them to obey the things that he had commanded the apostles to do. So they taught their disciples about this miraculous stuff, and they taught their disciples. And so when we look at early church history, people actually believed in this stuff. You know, the church fathers did have testimonies of miracles that continued to happen. And I've experienced this stuff as well. I've seen several healings, you know. I've even cast out a few demons. I've even interviewed a guy who was raised from the dead. So I know this stuff is for real, and I'll pray, John, that you will know it as well. Thank you for watching. God bless you.